Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we have something a little bit different for you. We have one of my interviews. I really enjoy doing these because it lets me see what's going on in the community just across Skyblock as a whole. And today we are covering an absolute massive achievement that someone on Ironman profile has completed. They are the first Ironman player to ever do this, and they hit Catacombs 50. Today we're going to be interviewing them, basically asking them about the grind. They're going to be giving us some insight to kind of the hell that is Catacombs and going for that much XP. Catacombs 50 is a grind and a half, and so I'm really excited to sit down and talk to him today, and hopefully you guys are excited to listen. So although today is not a regular Ironman video, yeah, we're just gonna be talking, and I'm really excited for it. So before we get fully underway though, if you aren't subscribed, please consider doing so. It only takes a second. You can change your mind at absolutely any time. And if today's video gets 2,000 likes, I will upload another daily video tomorrow. So I recommend that you hit the like button. It helps out a ton, and yeah, that means I'll upload again tomorrow. And really quickly, the person who I'm interviewing, 0ZH, okay? He's an amazing guy. I've had so much fun sitting down and talking to him. Huge shout for him for that. He's also gone ahead and started a Twitch, so I recommend that you go ahead and check it out. He streamed himself hitting Catacombs 50, which is ridiculous, and so I'm going to leave a link to that in the description down below. Go show him some love. Let him know that I sent you. I know it would make his day. So without further ado, let's get right into the interview. So today I am joined by Zero. How are you doing, my man? I'm so happy to be able to talk to you about this. How are you doing?
Feeling good, very good.
I'm surprised you say that based on the amount of hours that you've put into this, but I'm gonna believe you. Yeah, first and foremost, just congratulations on being the first Ironman player to hit Catacombs 50. That is disgusting. I know it got pretty competitive near the end, and we'll talk about that today as well. But yeah, I have some questions for you just about your journey and some stories along the way, and just some questions about your this ridiculous grind. So without further ado, I say we jump right into it. I want to ask you first, how long ago did you roughly decide that Catacombs 50 was the big thing that you wanted to go for?
Catacomb 50 was a thing I always had in mind, and when Master Mode actually came out, I was thinking that that was my chance to do it, but when Strength Nerf occurred, I just didn't play as much as I did before, and then I restarted this October because I heard that somebody else was going also for the first Kata 50 on Ironman, and so I activated and I just grinded a lot for weeks.
Now that's crazy. So let's bring it up really quickly. You're talking about HS Fearless here.
I'm talking about
yeah.
Fearless and Pitch.
Yeah, so they're some of the biggest Ironman grinders as well. I would throw yourself into that conversation as well, obviously. And so seeing them go for it, as you said, just inspired you to kind of go for it. And so how competitive did it really get in the last couple of weeks here?
Actually, I discovered that a man can voluntarily deprive himself of sleeping for weeks. I found out that I can sleep 3 hours a day average, going to school, doing studying, doing everything, and actually playing 12 to 14 hours a day for weeks, and that really amazed me. I was not thinking I was able to do that, but actually it was.
That is crazy. And well, now that you have it, please do me a favor and get a good night's rest. I think it's very deserved. Yeah, I think it's very deserved.
I don't even drink energy drinks. I had only 2 in my fridge just to be sure. If one day I need to grind 30 hours in a row without stopping, I just shrug a bunch of them, and that's it.
Oh,
so I had them, but actually never used them.
Oh, geez, so you didn't even have to. So what you're telling me is you didn't even have to grind as hard as you could. That's ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
I actually, I feel like I really stopped grinding as serious as before, probably 3 days ago, because when I realized I was like I needed half of what the other 2 guys needed for Kata 50. I thought I could just chill. I probably went too hard the days before.
Yeah, you had quite the lead coming up to the end. I believe you're a whole level ahead of Fearless, who just hit 49, and you obviously hitting 50. So, yeah, and that's like a big gap. I know it sounds like one level, but for people who don't know, the scale of how large and how much XP you need for the last couple of Catacombs level is honestly disgusting, and it scales very quickly with the amount of XP you need. So a whole level, and especially that level in particular, that is a very large gap. And I think you are gonna beat them by about a week, if not longer. So I think that just goes to show because they grind like crazy as well. It's not like they're slacking or anything, you know. So that's just how big
No,
your
no, they are not.
yeah, that's just how big your lead is, and so it's actually really impressive to see. Okay, so the next thing I want to bring up with you is along this grind, you actually could have hit Catacombs 50 a lot sooner. You decided, like, I don't know when you decided this. We'll talk about this, but you decided to go for all diamond heads on your Ironman profile as you're shuffling through them in front of me. They are gorgeous. I just want one of those. Give me one of the 7. But he has all 7 of them. So what made you decide that you wanted to go for all the diamond heads, and if you have anything to tell us about that?
There are actually two main reasons I went for all diamond heads. The first one is that I think it's probably the biggest flex, not only on Ironman, but probably in the whole server. And if not the biggest, one of the biggest.
They're
Because
gorgeous, yeah.
only 4 players in all server have all diamond heads from collection. And that's like really crazy. 200 have Kata 50, double that have skill average 55, and only 4 players, and I'm one of those,
And
actually have all diamond heads. And that's crazy.
and you're the only one on Iron Man at this time, right?
Yeah, of course.
Which is also just it's another thing that you can hold. And you were telling me before in the Iron Man Sweats Discord, we actually have this Hall of Fame set up. And so if you want to tell us a little bit about the incentive of that.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame is another thing that kept me going. Every diamond head is a spot there. So every time an Ironman player gets to the first diamond head, his name is written down in this Hall of Fame. And
Yeah.
one day I just decided to get them all. And so I started grinding. When the Hall of Fame actually came out, I already had Necron and Livid Heads. So
Oh yeah.
the remaining one were the first 4 because Sadan was already taken, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have 6 of the 7 spots, and I'm really upset about it.
I mean, hey, listen, 6 out of 7 is still really, really good.
Yeah, and
That is an actual
yeah,
ton of them. I
that's
mean,
still crazy.
that is
And
insane as it is. Yeah.
another thing that kept me really going is that other Ironman actually wanted these spots in the Hall of Fame
Mm-hmm.
because you're written down forever there. So a lot of people actually wanted those. And the first one I grinded, I think it was Professor Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I grinded a lot of M3s. And as an Ironman, I think like probably a lot of Ironmen are going to get one of these because you need a lot of stars from M3.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I just did 1000, and I was actually competing with a guy, and he just stopped playing for a week, and he was leading by 100 runs and lost by 500 for
Oh
first
my,
Diamond Professor.
oh my goodness.
It
I
was
was expecting
actually
that to be closer. That is not even close.
Yeah, he was actually one of my friend. Like he's one of the guy from the Terminator Cop, the first Terminator on Iron Man. We are talking about Pico Lavad,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad for him because I really stole his spots just because I wanted mine.
I mean, listen,
So
you put the work in for it, you know? So, I mean,
yeah,
if he was only halfway there by the time you got it, I don't think you should feel too bad. It wasn't as close as he might think it was.
Yeah, so I decided like to invite him to my parents for floor 1 and floor 2 because I got some friends that actually wanted a lot of diamond heads and they're like really easy money. The scarf head is probably more than 200 million right now, so
Yeah,
it was worth it
they're worth
for
a ton on regular profiles. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Actually,
There's definitely an incentive to go and grind for it, you know?
I think like less than 25 people have the diamond scarf head, and that's a really impressive thing.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. So the next thing I wanted to ask you, this kind of ties into the diamond heads, is what was your least and what was your most favorite floors to grind out? Because you've done at least 1,000 of each. I think you understand the boss fights of all of them, and you've definitely seen those floors. So what was your least and most favorite?
I think one of my favorite was the Necron.
Yeah.
Just because I was grinding for the first Hyperion on Ironman, which I got in February, and I got a fully scrolled hype at 900. So I didn't even think of going for the Diamond Head, but I was so close that I just did it.
Yeah.
But probably my favorite was this one, the Diamond Scarf Head. This one was probably the most competitive one. I was competing with a guy in Ironman sweats. His name is Pumpuk42. He actually asked me to name him to get some clout.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
One day, I was grinding Diamond Tornad, and he just messaged me and said, "Hey, is it a problem if I get Diamond Scarfed and the Hall of Fame spots?" I started at that. Like literally, my mind stopped. I was like, "Okay, no, stop, not anymore, not more floor 4, going back to floor 2." He was at 400 rounds when he told me that. I was at 100, so he had 300 lead.
Yeah.
It was kata, I think 22, maybe 21, and I was an Hyperion guy with another 4 Hyperion guys.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I made a perm as fast as possible to grind the floor 2. Like, I don't even know how much I grind those days. Actually, I didn't went to school for 2 days, and that really saved me.
Oh
I
my
didn't
goodness.
skip school, I just didn't have to.
Okay, okay.
So
Lucky you, lucky you. Okay,
yeah,
just
yeah,
making sure. We
that
don't want to
was lucky.
encourage
That was
skipping school
lucky.
here. Yeah.
And I grinded so much. Like I really wanted this. He was so ahead. I actually have a spreadsheet of our difference in rounds, updated every like 4 hours,
Wow.
and that was really funny because he actually went to school and to sleep, and I didn't. So I just grinded so much, and I felt so satisfied after I got it.
That's amazing. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think it's really fun too when going for like these large grinds. Like thinking about 1,000 runs of any dungeon floors, it's gonna take a lot of time. And so
yeah,
like for example, the neck run one where you had like items that you wanted to go for, I think that keeps it enjoyable. Having some competition, that always keeps it fun and enjoyable. It's always motivating like that. So I think that's a really good way to work towards grinds when you have like those two factors. And I think that's also why like fishing and forging, the skills are kind of like very stale right now because there's no incentive to really go for them. Like everyone, a lot of people have them maxed, and so you can't be the first in anything there. And then you max out all the content like level 25 or something. So I think it's fun when you have grinds that there's actual incentive and there's things that you want to get. So I think that keeps it fun.
you wanna know something there is not an incentive to go for? This one. Never do this one. This is the worst floor ever. It's literally the floor that has more bugs. Have you ever played? Literally, it's unplayable. There are so many bugs,
It's quite
especially
scuffed.
in Master
Yeah.
Floor 4. Like
Yeah.
you have to reset so many times. It's so easy to mess up
The
the
amount of
floor.
times that the bears will disappear and the bow doesn't drop
Yeah,
or something
it
is
man,
actually
I really hate it.
disgusting. And it's like it's a long boss fight as is, and so like I've had that happen before when you've just needed like one more shot on them, and the bears just like just bug out, and it's the worst feeling. That was back on my main profile, but I could see that being a problem for
Yeah.
sure.
Actually, I remember it was a really great floor. I actually enjoyed playing floor 4 when ferocity was a thing, so
Mhm.
you could one tap turn. That was so fast, and that's when I got
Oh
the 4
geez.
boomerangs. Yeah, I'm an OG player. I was an archer with boomerang when I was grinding for my Hyperion, and I really enjoyed my time with boomerang. But then they got obliterated, so
I was looking forward to boomerangs too, and then they got yeah, just not even usable anymore. So that kind of turned me away from grinding for that, and I ended up just going Spirit Scepter and Mage. But that actually leads really well into my next question. I was gonna ask, what classes did you mainly play on your way to Catacombs 50?
I actually played a lot of classes.
Mm-hmm.
I think my first one was actually healer because when I started, nobody was actually really good at dungeons. So I just played healer, did a lot of secrets and puzzles. I was the guy that always does trap, and I was the one making parties, so I didn't get kicked. I literally in 3 days of dungeons, I memorized every secret to be the most as useful as possible. and I grinded so many until I got a Livid Dagger and a Flower of Truth. And that brings me to probably my worst experience in dungeons. I actually got inventory wiped when I started
Oh,
my floor 7 grind, and
oh
that
my
was
goodness.
really, really painful. Like, I remember calling my co-op and saying, hey, I lost my Shadow Assassin, Livid Dagger, Flower of Truth, I lost everything. I even lost Mad Dog's Baton, which is
Oh,
a really bad thing to lose on
that's
Iron
a
Man.
really bad one to lose on Iron
Yeah,
Man. Oh my
and
goodness.
my co-op was not believing me, and I just grinded for 40 hours straight. Then when that happened, I was like I didn't want to go to sleep. I was so frustrated that I lost my gear, and so I just grinded a lot of items from floor 5 and 6 again.
Now it's
My co-op
really,
actually,
yeah.
yeah, he actually helped me a lot during that journey.
Hmm.
He landed me his 3/4 Shadow Assassin, so I was fortunate that I had him because otherwise I would have to start over again, and
That
that's
that
not
that would be
really.
quite the pain. That would definitely be
Yeah,
quite
it is.
quite
It is.
quite the pain. What I think is really interesting though is after getting inventory wiped, I've seen a lot of people either quit the game, play the game less, and honestly just lose faith that they like. How do you know that you aren't gonna lose all your items again once you grind for them back, right? Like at any second now, you and I we could just have our inventories wiped, and then what, right? And so I think that really shows how determined you were to kind of grind this out. The fact that you played for 40 hours straight after getting inventory wiped. Where, for example, if I got inventory wiped, I think I'd take a couple days off and then maybe think about coming back because I feel like that would make me so upset. So I think that's really crazy that you just like no second thought just got right back into the grind.
Actually, like kind of quitted for 2 hours, but it was during Christmas, so I didn't have to school, and you know
Hmm.
what that mean? School is downtime, you know.
True, true.
And so I just grinded a lot, and actually tried the healer strat for floor 7, but it wasn't so worth it. Like a lot of parties were actually kicking me; they were not liking how I was playing. So I decided to go back to floor 4. I did a little more than 400 runs and got all the 4 boomerang. And that really carried me through my Hyperion grind. I've been an archer in floor 7 for so many runs until I got actually was pretty unlucky with the drops. Like I got an handle and 5 of the same scroll
Wow.
like in a row, and that was really painful. I was so demotivated, and then one day, like 2 hours apart, I got both of them. And the first thing I thought when I got both scrolls I was missing is, oh my god, the Iron Man community is probably gonna think I am cheating. So I just made a lot of videos, screenshots, everything. I still have the data from Skyblock Extra, so everyone could see that it was actually legit.
Nice. That's a
And
that's a big problem with this game though. Is if someone is ahead of you, like for example, like if someone was ahead of me with the same amount of playtime, or maybe even a bit more, you always question how they did it, right? Like for example, you being the first player of the Catacombs 50. This actually leads me to my next question. I've received messages of people doubting the way you made money, and I know for a fact that what they're saying they just don't understand what's going on, and the problem is co-op collections. And co-op collections basically display a false number than what you've actually grinded, so that the collection moves up fairly between the amount of people that are on your co-op potentially grinding towards something. And
yeah,
so this leads me into my question because I know netherwart farming was a huge thing for you, and you have a lot of items that have added up to hundreds of millions of coins, right? And so a lot of people had questions. Well, he's only farmed 134 million or 135 million netherwart. How does this make any sense? So if you want to tell us about that really quickly.
actually, for some reason, I don't know if it's a bug or it is an intended feature. Co-ops are actually bugged in collection.
Mm-hmm.
So if I right now, if I go grind 1k netherwort, the collection is going up by only a small fraction of what I actually grinded.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it changed. Like they updated it. It changed through time. Like if there are more people in the same co-op, it actually can slow you down by a lot.
Yep.
And that also slowed me for a lot of grinds. For example, the beacon
Yep.
or
Same.
other
Same
things.
here. I just got my beacon yesterday. Finally, like it actually slowed me down by so much.
Yeah, I think my nether wart has 720 million nether warts, and before starting dungeons, I had 250 mil purse, or a little bit less than 300 mil.
Mhm.
And during dungeons, I actually got an insane amount of money. Today I made some calculation, and you know how much money I did from dungeon pots? Like
How much?
in master mode, I get an average of 3 pots every run. I
Okay.
just do secrets.
Mhm.
So
That's
3,
reasonable. Yeah.
yeah, 3 pots. It's not even that much. I'm not saying 6. I'm saying 3. It's not that much.
Mhm.
And it's about a little bit more than 70k. 70k per run, considering I have almost 3k runs from M5 and M6. You can make the math yourself. It's more than 200 mil. And
It's actually crazy. I was thinking about the other day.
yeah,
It actually adds up. Like I was doing some floor sixes the other day, and I was doing some secrets, and so I got a bunch of dungeon pots and or the health pots, and so I was selling them, and I was only getting 3 chests for like probably 10 runs straight. This is a very small sample size, but like in that 10 runs, like I went up like 500, 600,000 coins like in my purse from like 10 runs, and I was just like, well, that's
yeah.
actually like
Also, scavenger is a thing, and
yeah.
it's really useful.
Hmm.
It actually wasn't always like this. Like Scavenger was only fixed after Floor 7 released, but
Yeah.
like 2 months after, and that really changed. I really noticed the difference in making money from actually playing dungeons. Like
It definitely
if
adds
you're
up.
lucky, if you're lucky enough and you grind as much as I did, you can get a little bit less than 10 million every day,
Hmm.
just selling pots, selling swords, skeletal armor, and everything that is useless for you,
Hmm.
and just get scavenger coins. You get a lot of money.
It does definitely add up, and so this actually leads into my next thing. You have you're the first on Iron Man to get this as well. You have the tier 7 Master Skull, which is
Yeah.
one of the most expensive talismans in the game, by like quite a bit. And so yeah, you're holding it in your hand right now. I gotta come and right click
Yeah.
to you and look at this thing. This thing is gorgeous. It's currently worth 720 mil on the auction house, which is disgusting. So if you want to tell us a little bit about this, and so did this just happen passively? Like, tell us a little bit about the Master Skull.
When I told you that I did almost 1k M3,
Yeah.
actually, I have my Skyblock Extra data in the right corner of my screen, and I can see I got 115 Master Skull Tier 3, and like 70% of them are from M3. For some reason, they are more common on that floor. Like
That's good to know.
you get nothing from M5, and M3 is just free Master Skulls. So I grinded a lot of them. I think it was a month ago, and I just finished with M6. I have 30 Master Skull Tier 4, so
Wow.
I just grinded a lot of Master Mod.
Fair enough. I mean, going for Catacombs 52, like, I think what keeps it interesting is making sure that you're going towards like these items instead of just being an endless loop, like we were talking about before. So having like, even though this is a very like the Master Skull is a very long term grind that you did, it was nice to have like, I don't know. I enjoy having like little passive things that I'm working towards, like whether it be leveling up a pet or working towards a collection or doing whatever, right? And so I think that's something that can definitely keep you busy, and I think it's really cool that you have one. Like this is the first, and if I'm not wrong, the only one on Iron Man right now. So
As of now, it's the only one.
that's crazy. So congrats on that. And yeah, I believe that's all the questions I have for you today and all the time we have. Zero, thank you so much for letting me interview you for this. Congrats on Catacombs 50. That's insane. You will always be remembered now as the first Catacombs 50 on Iron Man. And yeah, hopefully I get there one day. Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate this.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you for having me, and leave a like and subscribe.
Very true. Thank you. So there you have it. Another massive Iron Man achievement. Huge shout out to Zero for hitting Catacombs 50. Also, a little bit of an honorable mention. HS Fearless and Second Physish, two other good friends of mine. They are also hitting Catacombs 50 in like a day or two, or a couple days after this video comes out. So the race really got close near the end here. So huge shout out to them for also like committing to this grind. This grind is ridiculous. So shout out to all three of these guys, but especially Zero. I really appreciate him taking the time to sit down with me today. If you guys did end up enjoying today's interview, make sure to let me know by leaving a comment and a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. Once again, make sure you go show Zero some love. Link to his Twitch in the description down below. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Check out my other socials in the description, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace out.